All right, folks, let's get started here. As soon as we flip over to seeing this, good. Whoops. All right, so I'm using a new setup today. I'm actually going through a streaming PC, which is going to mess with me a little bit. I think it's okay. So I'm actually not looking at the computer I'm working on. It's streaming into another PC and I'm seeing it through there. So it's a little bit weird. I think it's going to be okay though. Just there's a touch of a delay. So anyways, the thing that I'm working on this time, it's still a continuation of last time where I've got my website, which is run off a piece of software called Hugo. All the content is sitting inside this one content directory, and it's kind of a pain to manage. So what I'm doing is I'm going to move everything as prod target with the directory structure of posts 2000 set, like the year and then the name of the same folder name, and then the index file that's inside each one. There'll also be images that go in there as well. For some posts. So that's what we're doing. Last time, let's see, let's get down to so this is the folder. We're doing update directory structure. So we'll go ahead and open these up. Test. And so I actually left this with a broken test on purpose. So if I run this test suite, I did not do something which I should have done or I needed to do. So the Python uses a virtual environment for this setup. So I have to do source. Oops, let me do one other thing that you can't see on the PC so I can see the chat room just in case somebody, oh, maybe? Is that not gonna work? Aha, works. Okay, just have to not click on that mouse. 2 mice here. Yeah, all right. Source, virtual environment, in the bin, activate. And so now we can see that this little venv showed up by our command line at the start of it, which means we're in the virtual environment. And so now, if I open up the test and run it, it works. Or more to the point, it fails, but it fails in the way that I wanted to do it. So I intentionally left that failing test as a place to get back to so that I know what the next thing is that I want to start working on. And so in test update directory structure, which is the test file on line 13, which is here, right? Self-asserts true, OS's file, blah, 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 blah. So that test is not working, right? And so then what we can do is we know this, so this test isn't working. And so what we do is we look up one directory or one line and we see that this was the function that was being called. So I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in moved file or move file that's the problem. And actually I already knew this, but oh, and actually, you know what? Yeah, so I should actually return a path here, but that's okay for now. Because this is actually doing the move. And really what I should do at some point is get the name of the file, but right now I'm gonna make this pass. And so I know that the way to make this pass is, how do we move over? Does this work? Stand by. So I know that this path goes to 2006, so that's where I'm looking for the file. Yeah, this isn't the greatest test. I should have had the path come out. But so I'm doing this kind of shameless green thing where I'm trying to do the quickest, dirtiest thing to get stuff passing. And so the the way that I did that was I just wrote out the file, and so now I'm continuing to write that out. I'll back off this a little bit and kind of refactor this out to make it more testable. But this is where that directory is getting set. So that passed. Those tests run super fast. That one test runs super fast. And so what that's doing is it's writing out this file, which is what the test is looking for. So I'm testing on the file system, which is always a little bit weird. But that's the quickest, easiest way for me to kind of make sure that this stuff is working. I don't know what the rules are for doing that stuff, but it's working. So it's always a little weird testing on the file system instead of just testing stuff internally. But that's okay. But so anyway, so what I've got working now is this is creating the path that gets built. So actually, you know what I should do is I should pull this out into a path that I can test, maybe. Move file source path. Well, let me just get this going, and I can refactor it later if I need to. So inside these files, and I'm going to go back to one that's not going to get deleted on my prod. Redo images, just because it's the first one. No. So that doesn't have a date in it. This is another reason I'm going to need to test stuff. So to deal with files that don't have a date, like, is that 01 images. Which I don't even know how that's working. So how does Hugo deal with that? Where's that coming from? So that's coming from, yeah, so content's the directory that starts with. Public is where it gets output. Open with, oh, let's go with pbedit. I don't know what I'm looking for in terms of date. Really what I want to see is where on the website, which we can run locally, with Hugo server-d. Yeah, so because I'm doing all the encoding and all the sending and stuff through an external machine, my laptop is running much faster. It's like 5 years old, but like when I was trying to do the encoding and all the sending and stuff, it was definitely slowing down. So hopefully this will be better, and also it won't do the jerky stuff where the video kind of like stacks up for a little bit and like jerks itself out a little bit. So question is, does it go all the way to the end? Image holder. Yep. Okay. So without a date, that file went to January 1st, year one. Yeah, 01 images. Okay. So I don't really need to deal with that. The question is where I put that. So I've got this, which is a responsive image thing. which I'm actually not sure if that's done yet or not. Did I post that? That would be a good sign. No, I have not posted that yet. Okay, so I think I'm still working on that. But so I've got something here that deals with images, and the reason that that's important is when I do the move of all the content, I need to make sure that the images get moved. But because this doesn't have a date in it, and I've got another, oh, this is the same. Those are all the same images. That must have been the first thing that I did. A flexible responsive image. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just looking at the URL a flexible, which will be the name of this directory. A dash flexible responsive. Where'd you go? So wait, why does it only have two? Now I'm super confused. Oh, I may have done something. I may be calling those images. Yeah. Get site page. Okay. So I do need to move those images, so I can't delete them because it's those images are being called from this directory. Which is a little too fancy by half. Okay, so I do need to keep those. Gotcha. Sucks that has to be a page. Okay, I'll deal with that later when I'm working on that post again. I'll have... Crap, now what do I want to do with that? I'm just gonna move all those images into that same folder so that they're there and I can deal with them that way. I was using a Windows machine earlier and now I'm using a Mac and my control command keys are all backwards in my head. Also, let's see if the third time's a charm. Copy, paste, replace, that's fine. All right. Okay. Got it. Let's leave that there. All right. So this is what's generating the website. Let's go back here. Completely forgot what we're doing, but that's cool. We're fine. Okay, test running. So now let's go find a file that we're actually gonna mess with. Actually, let's bring up Visual Studio Code because that'll. Cool. So we're gonna go with our two quarts. This is just the content directory inside the prod. So two quarts and here. So this gets our date. So basically what we need to do is process this YAML, which is the format here. YAML. This is the worst page. But we can process this data. We'll grab the date, and then from there, that's how we'll make the determination that this is a 2006 file. All right, so, and again, I'm just gonna do that. I'm doing everything in here in this shameless green manner. So like this is all gonna be gross code. And then I'll refactor it out later. Actually, so do this. This is actually a good time to do a thing. So let's go write a test. Def test get year. Self. So update directory structure dot get year. That should just blow up. Good. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do this the simplest way possible, which is I'm gonna make one change. So I did one line here, and it broke it. That made a broken test. Now I'm just gonna go do the simplest thing possible to get that going, which is def define get year. Oops, we don't need self because we're not in a class. And it'll pass, and then that should pass. Good. And then so now what we want is actually, let's do this. Year equals that, so it's not a return for us. So self assert equal. So I want this year that gets returned to equal 2006. I'm gonna put it in the string. Now that's gonna break, right? Because this year does not equal 2006 because this get year method isn't returning anything. But so now I'm gonna do the simplest thing possible and return 2006. And when I run the test now, passes. Good. And so now I've got like a good baseline. Now I just need to get this to actually do code. And so this, again, credit Sandy Metz for kind of this methodology of doing it. So it gets me that this is shameless green. So I have a test here that I know I want to have pass, or that does. It's a very simple test, like it's a 2-line test, and eventually I'm going to add a path in here. Actually, I don't know how I want to do that path yet, so I'm just going to work on getting the year. So what I'm going to do, bring up my notes. Really? I don't know. Interesting. I don't have the PyYAML in there. So this is another one of those places where I don't code that much, so I got to figure out how to read this file and then split it. Capturing logging, getting credit, read a file like slurp. Okay, so this is how I can read in a file. So again, I've done this before, so I've got notes about it. So with openx and just do read to create a list of lines. Okay, so all I want to do here is with open. I need my file path, which I need to do a file that's in that prod directory. So I'm gonna come over here, Woodshed, Alan W. Smith, prod. So it's gonna be in content 02, 2-Q, 2 quarts, right? Right. So I'm gonna copy that directory, paste that, and it's the index.md file. And then we're gonna do md file equals, oh wait, oops. Oh, as x. I don't like as x, so as md file, do that, and then md data equals md file.read. Right? See if that works. All right, good. Test still passed, so nothing broke, or I didn't break anything. That's the other thing is I run tests. So like if I had accidentally left out of parentheses like this and tried to run it, it blows up. So that's one of the reasons I like this little stuff that I've done down at the bottom that lets me just run my test directly from this file. So I can just constantly keep running stuff and keep verifying my test work. So yeah, so test pass running script here. That's my good stuff. You know, it's funny. I should, for these videos, I should make those like, or I should make that message much more explicit, like passed. Maybe I'll do that later. So let's see what this does. We have all the data in there? Yeah, okay, so there's the data. And so now what I need to do is to process the YAML, I only need this part. So what I'm gonna do is split md, oops, let's do this. md parts equals md data split on those 3 dashes. Let's see what this does. There you go. So I've got an array of, or a list, sorry, it's a list, not an array because we're not in Perl, of the data, and I think this is gonna work for us. So aliases, yeah, there's a lot of new lines in there, but that's probably just because of the way it prints. So now what we need to do is figure out Python YAML. I'm surprised there's not a, do you have to do a module? Oh, it doesn't come with Python automatically. Interesting. So, gotcha. So now what we need to do, and this is another reason that we've got oh, we're off the screen there. There we go. So the other reason I'm in this virtual environment is so I can install modules and make sure the modules all stay independent of each other. So let's install this. Let's do this. YAML. Whoops. I have no idea what that said. Okay, so we want to do that. I'm going to grab the link. And so this is the other thing that I do, right, is I make a lot of notes in my little developer notebook here. My grimoire, however you say it. The book of magic and spells. So install it. And then what we can do is we go back in this. Do this. Run our test just to make sure. Cool. Let's see, what should we do here in this example? All right, so yeah, so don't don't do this with any data that you don't trust. I trust all this data because I made it. Functional converts YAML document to a Python object. YAML load. All right, so let's see. Import YAML. Is that gonna work? Okay, still works. Let's go here. Let's just get rid of that so we get back to this. So what are we doing? Oh, with this. No, let's do this. I don't know what to call this right now, so I'm just gonna call it YAML data. YAML, whoops. YAML load MD parts. That could blow up. Yep. List object has no object read. Oh, because I'm not, MD parts is the full array. So what I need is, so zero, it's a zero index. So zero, there's nothing in zero. Actually, let's do this again. So the first thing in the file, when you split on the 3 dashes, is the first thing comes before that. And even though there's nothing there, that means there's nothing there. So this is index 0. This is index 1, which has all the YAML data in it. So that's going to be this. So with luck, whoops. If we get rid of this and do this. And so now I'm looking for the first, or the one item in the list. Is deprecated the default leader of the parts test pass. What? Structure YAML load warning. Calling YAML loader without loader is deprecated, as the default loader is unsafe. Okay. That's literally the documentation, so that kind of is annoying. Dumping. All right. That's the syntax, we don't need that. Loader. Simple install, setup. I'm listening to Katy Perry, by the way. Good little repetitive thing going on. So C loader. So instead of looking at the documentation, I'm going to look at hopefully an example here. Okay, here we go. This is better. Got it. You use cookies. Everybody uses cookies. Loader equals YAML.full loader. Interesting. I don't know what this is. It looks like some type of scrubber to make stuff safe. So. Stand by. Okay, so So loader I don't really know what this is doing. We'll see if it works. Hey, it worked. There you go. So it pulled out aliases, 2 quarts, date. There we go. So we've got our date. Sorry, I gotta keep some stuff going there. Cool. Okay, so now we've got. So what I'm going to do now is copy all this stuff, and I'm just going to put this in my notebook for now. Just to give me something to work with. And then put in some links for helpful stuff. Yeah, so this is just a big part of what I do. Take notes. Cool. So set new number to get our numbers back in Vim. So now the question is, if I do date here, does that work? There you go. So I've got my base date going, which is cool. Oops. Redo? Yeah, there we go. Undo and redo sometimes in Vim freak me out. So I can get rid of that, do that. I've got the date. Okay. So now, date. Date. Use timestamp. See, these are all about getting the dates. Lots of date stuff. Parse, get a date. Import parse date. That sounds happy. Let's see what that does. Oh, that's from email utils though. I don't know, we want to do that. Is Stack Abuse the one that just steals from Stack Overflow? No, maybe not. So that makes the date. So if the format is known, you can easily process it, right? calling these formats, right? Price data, but what if you don't know? Converting time zones, no. Yeah, so this looks better. I don't want to have to. So with this one, the date util module is an extension of the date time module. One advantage is that we don't need to pass any parsing code to the string, for example. So just because I don't know if this is going to work, I'm just going to keep this here for now. I don't know if it should be fine, right? Parse. Yes, I could have copied that, but I like doing stuff like that to kind of get it in my head a little bit. Date time. Parse. YAML data date. Does it still work? Nope. No module in date util. What was it called? Huh. Oh, it's its own thing. Okay, we'll do that. Pip install Python date util, right? Do that, and then so vim one more time for our tests. There we go, it passed. Line 34, maybe. Where'd that go? Okay, so we're down here. So it's parsing it. Now, whoops. Oh, actually I can just copy all that stuff. Set no numbers. It's parsed automatically. All right. So we got the date coming in. Turn our numbers back on. Date util turns into date time. Date array for dates. So how do we get, I'm going to guess the way that we get this is print date, time, year. What's that going to do? Okay, so that's printing the date. Why did that work? No, it didn't work. Type error int is not callable. Oh, maybe that. 2006. There we go. So I can actually get rid of this line because that was printing out a full date. There's this. There's this. And so now, what I should be able to do, return date, time, year. Oh, I gotta make it a string. How do you make Python make integer a string? That sounds like a good idea. No, you just use str. Okay. Boom, test passed. So that's getting that's getting the year from that file. And so now the other thing that we're going to do is do this, which is going to explode, right? And then we're going to come down here and I want to make this a variable called source path. Source path. So get rid of all this junk at the end. And so, because I just need to pass this path, that's still passing, but I'm not using it yet, but now I need to use it. Source path. There you go. So now when you call the source path, you get the year. And so I'm going to use that here, even though that's maybe not the best place to do it. But what should happen, so I'm going to leave year directory here for a second. And we're going to do this. Year. I just want to put this in first to see if it explodes. It shouldn't. But this is me staying green. And so now if I delete this line, still green. Okay, good. So there we go. I'm now basically fully dynamic here. Or no, the output path still needs to be determined. I've got the year going now. So that's cool. I've got the year directory set up. So we're gonna commit that. Let's do this. And then so get the year from the YAML header. Cool. So what do we want to do next? I'm not sure we're going to do anything next tonight. Source file, we're going to split the output directory. I'm going to clean this up a little bit because I don't totally, like, just looking at this, I don't totally understand what this, guess I can use my mouse, what this directory names -2 is. Destination directory. Where did I get destination directory? Where's that come from? Oh, it's all the way up there. I guess that's okay. I want to rename that. Vim find replace. So going back to my notes, current line everywhere in the file. So we want to do, whoops, should look at it. So I want to call this destination root. Test still pass. Okay, good. And so now I'm going to commit that. That's just a little more, that makes this make a little more sense right here. Destination root, year directory we get, and then directory names -2. Like I know what it does, but it doesn't, because it just doesn't, put that up there. Oops. Forgot how to move it down on a thing. Move file. So we're in 45. This is a little bit of a big function. We're just getting there. Copy, get the path, output. So that makes it year directory, directory names split, output directory. Yeah, so I need the output directory to create the output file. I could make that path with the index file. Well, so as long as these are all index files, this will be fine. I just need to I'm not sure what I'm doing here now. So print the source path. We got that. It's coming up top. And we're getting it. We're splitting it. We're putting it in. So I mean, that's good. That covers us for the index files. So let's do this. Let's verify that there's no MD files that aren't index.md. So let's do this. I don't think I've got anything like this. CLI find. We can start with this. Find dot type F. So this will show us all the files. Oh. grep md. So there would be so actually could I do this since that's showing up red? Oh, well, sorry, grep doesn't work. So how do you do grep look behind? So there's a way to do if I knew regular expressions better, there's a way to basically say, hey, show me anything that's has a .md in it that doesn't have a grep in it. I'm trying to think about how we'll do that. This isn't super critical. I just want to see if I can pull it off, basically. Because this would be a good one to kind of know how to do. Whoops. Grep not string. So check against the syslog file. Here, there. That's exploded passing on CV. Continue starting there. Grep matches grep v does the inverse. If you need to match A but not B. Oh, interesting. So we do that, and then we pass this to grep-v. What's that gonna do? Huh. Cool, okay, so I did it. Go Stack Overflow. So we find all the files, which will include images. Then we pass that to grep for markdown. And like theoretically MD could be in there. So I guess we could do MD, does $sign work for the end? Yeah. So and that's the end of the string. And then we pass that to grep-v. So I want to see if I can take out the last one here, volume. Actually, let's do this. So they're going to see. All right, let's do this. Find type file. We're going to pass that to word count line. And so there's 1078. If we go to grep MD $ for the last one and we pass that, count dash line, 854. And so now I'm going to try and take out at least one line, this turning here. I just want to make sure it really does, because like it could show up some other place. So I don't trust that it's always going to be in the last one. But what I want to see is if I do grep v turning up and pass that, I should see one less. Yep, there you go. So I've removed that one. And so now I trust that this is working. And then of course, if I do index here, it's gonna be 0. Cool, okay, so there's only index files in there, or index.md files in there. So note, this assumes all files are index.md named index.md. Whatever. Ah. Put this up here. How do you up? Oh, Control U. All right, so we're getting the source. We're moving, so that moves the file, and those are always going to move the index files. I just want to rename that so it's a little more clear. Hey, test pass. See, that's actually, I mean, that's a huge step forward, because basically once I run the loop to move those files, that's going to move all the files. So the next thing I need to do is figure out how to move the images. And so for the images, I will. Was there images in that one? Is that where I pulled it? Why I used it? Nope, need to look at prod. Actually, I don't think there was, right? Okay, so let's go to one that I know has images. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make sure these images move. And that'll actually give me the test to write that'll break for the next time we do this. Before we do that, commit this. Oh, move file MD, whatever. That's not the greatest name, but it'll get us there for now. Test move image. Let's do this. Want to grab that. Whoops. That'll pass. So then we do update directory structure. UCTR8. Yeah, I'm getting tired. Move image. Via file. MD source path. I'm not sure this could be the right way to do this. So we're just going to make the function right now, make it pass. But really what we want to do is the same thing. From this, which is going to be a different year, I'm sure. 2019. So that file is not going to exist. Cool. Okay, so that gives me the thing to get into next time we do this, because I can just run, leaving it as a failing test lets me come back and run and know like right where I want to start going again. So cool. Excellent. That'll do it for now. You have a good one. We'll see you soon, maybe. Oops, I'm using the wrong mouse. And take it easy. Be safe.